welcome back to the vendor table.
Hi.
Wow. That's what that's how you greet me?
I just saw you the other day. Like, what do you want? Like,
oh, I forgot.
What do you want?
I forgot. You're coming off a triple header and you're probably like death right now.
Yeah. Give me a minute because like, I feel like it's.
Oh. It's 9:40 in the morning, just FYI, at the time of recording. Feel better about yourself right now?
No.
Triple header wedding weekend. I think that's the equivalent of running a Ironman as a wedding vendor.
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I did it to myself. It's
Yeah.
my fault.
I was going to say, you did this to yourself.
I did this.
Now, are you off this weekend, this coming weekend?
No.
Do you have just one wedding?
No.
Oh, you have two? Or three? Is it two?
It's two.
It's two.
Only two.
Well, you did it to yourself, so I don't feel sympathy. I don't shoot triples anymore. I'm an old man. Can't do them.
That was my first triple since 2021. And I've said many times I would never do it again. And I did it again. And I was like, I'll be fine. I'm not fine. I'm not okay. So many pictures.
I think all in all, that's probably around like 15,000 photos.
I think I counted. So the one we collectively shot 7,000 photos, right?
Yeah.
Saturday was 6,300-ish.
Ew.
And Sunday was 6,000.
Yeah. So, yeah, we shot 7,000. She worked with me this weekend, on Friday. She worked with me this past Friday, first wedding together since last year. And I got home and I put in my memory cards and it was just like, I shot solo 4,000 photos, which is the most I've ever taken. Usually between me and a second shooter, it's like 5,000 photos. And then I loaded Lauren's cards and
I'm
it was
so sorry.
3,000. It was a 12-hour day, which is a little longer. So
wait, I only shot 3,000?
Yeah.
Sick. That's great.
But 3,000 as a second shooter is a lot. As a second shooter is a lot of photos.
I feel like that's like a Meredith second shooter.
Yes.
Meredith does.
I yell at Meredith all the time. I'm like, stop shooting. Stop it. Like you when you have second shooters that are really excited about something, they overclick because they're like, oh my God. And Meredith is the queen of overclicking. I've toned her down a lot. I've told her, like, you don't need to take 10 of a ring sitting in a dish. Take 3.
I think I usually do 3 now.
Yeah.
Unless I notice like someone's blinking a lot.
Groups I always take 10. Because you just...
Groups, yeah.
Groups, you got to take 10.
Well, let's talk about my fucking 28-person bridal party on Saturday.
Oh, that's fun. That's
Wedding party.
Yes, that's large, but it's not the biggest I've seen. That's what she said. Not the biggest I've seen. Yeah.
That was the largest wedding party that I've shot since 2017.
Yeah. It's excessive. It's a lot of, you know what you do for big bridal parties if you have a lot to
Wedding party. It's Pride Month. We have to be inclusive.
It is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to
Happy
everybody.
Pride Month.
After we got that wrong. But happy
To all
Pride.
my girl gays and theys.
Happy Pride Month to everyone out there who celebrates. But yeah, I had a wedding party. Like, if you're photographing a large wedding party, the key is bring in a lot of chairs.
Yeah.
That way you condense the group. You don't want just like 2 big lines.
It was 10 chairs. 10 chairs. A lot of big girl voice.
Yeah. 10 chairs is a lot.
My pre-wedding party photo speech. The Please Don't Hate Me speech. Mm-hmm. Which I'll probably post a reel with that. And it was basically begging everybody not to hate me for how uncomfortable the next like 30 minutes will be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it went well. But I remember like doing their finals appointment and going over all the details and being like, all right, so how many bridesmaids do we have? And she was like 12. And I was like, do you hate me?
It's not that bad. When you have a big bridal party, it's never really that
and
bad.
Taylor's so chill. Like I actually said all of this to her. She was just like, I know, I'm sorry. I just,
Like don't get us wrong. We love a small bridal party, but a big bridal party excites me just as much because you could do a lot more. Like especially with like poses and stuff like that, you could get like really cool stuff like with a big bridal party where you can't with a small bridal party. So,
but then when a wedding party is too large and the space isn't
well, you have to have the space
big enough or the light,
yeah.
like there's not like I was at Stonebridge, so there's not many shaded areas around 2 in the afternoon where you can
embrace the midday sun.
I had to embrace the midday sun and with what I had, and there were golfers on the golf course, so I couldn't shoot by the green. And it was just, So we had one spot and one spot only, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we worked together this weekend. It was a little fun.
Yeah.
I'll post a reel of our behind the scenes adventure.
Got a lot of compliments on your outfit.
Yeah. People think we like dress really well at a wedding. Like, at least we don't look like garbage people. We don't, we practice what we preach in terms of look good, feel good.
Fresh.
Oh, shit, that's fresh.
Yeah.
But it was a great wedding.
I wore colors.
You did. You wore green.
I did that on
color.
purpose because I was working with you and your colors. So.
Yeah, I'm colorful. Slightly. I just wear a floral tie. People know me for the floral ties. I get a lot.
People know me.
Listen, I have 4 of the same floral tie, like different colors.
Yeah.
People know me for my floral ties. You roll up, you got to look, you got to be iconic, right? I don't have tattoos up and down my body that people can remember me for, so they remember the floral tie.
It's like my calling card.
Yeah, there it is. Well, we had we didn't know what to talk about, so we're gonna keep this like open format for the next like 25 minutes or so.
Enjoy.
But there was a lot of things to go on in the wedding industry.
A lot of things are happening, and I'm really excited.
Some are exciting, some are terrifying.
But let's talk about the exciting part.
All right, you want to talk about the exciting part?
Haley Page got her name back.
Fuck yeah. Amazing. The queen.
The queen. We've been waiting for this for so long. Since I guess when everything started was about 2020, when all the shit went down. And everybody in the industry kind of had their eyes on this case because of the precedent that it would set. And I mean, I know I felt like I was like screaming in my house. I was like, she got her account back. She got her designs back. Like, this is such a huge deal. And I'm really excited to see what the future holds for Haley Page.
Yeah,
as Haley Page.
She's honestly probably one of the shining stars of the wedding industry. I know like a lot of people have seen her on like Say Yes to the Dress and like know her from her designs and everything like that. She has very iconic dress designs. But she is just a gem of a human. I've never met her, but she is a gem of a human. Like if you tag her, like say you photograph a bride wearing her gowns, like she will message you, and that's her messaging you from her accounts. And like she has reshared my photos. She has shared stories that I've posted, stuff like that. So she is like very much like active, and she appreciates anyone who reaches out to her. We are very, very happy for her to win that case because that was landmark. I mean, like she basically couldn't use her own name for years. Couldn't even go by her own name for years. And winning that case now grants her name back, her rights back.
Well, she didn't necessarily win. They settled. But that's a win. I'm sorry. I mean, considering the outcome, it's a huge win. And I think a lot of industry professionals are feeling that win with her. So
I think
congratulations to Miss Haley Page on getting her name and her designs back. And I'm excited to see her continue designing bridal couture.
Yeah. Would you... I would die if she ever came on this podcast.
I would throw up.
Yeah. I think if that ever happened, I think we would officially say we made it as podcasters, but one could dream.
Yeah.
One could dream.
We can dream.
We could dream. We'll dream big. Dream big.
Dream big.
Yeah, so a lot has gone on in the industry and stuff like that. And we've kind of caused a little bit of a ruckus.
Yeah, let's fucking talk about
Apparently,
this.
we've caused a big ruckus in planner groups out there.
Planners, really the planners are the ones that are pissed off at us for some reason about this. But
Planners don't like us right now. When I am sorry, but I am your biggest fan.
we talk about how much we love planners
We've had 3 planners on this show.
all the time. But let's elaborate on this because it seems that everybody is misunderstanding what we're saying
Yes.
about copyright.
Yes.
We are not talking about sharing images. We're not talking about posting images. We're not talking about sharing galleries. We are talking about who owns the rights to these images and what the language in your contract as a planner implies.
Yes.
It's the implication, whether that's your intent or not, the words in your contracts have an implication.
Yes, you don't own the images, and I'm going to repeat it, but you don't own the images. They are not yours to basically, you can't skirt around a photographer's copyright and go to your client and say, you need to release the images to me so I could use full commercial usage.
You can't.
You can't do that. You have to approach the photographer. And I know planners, I know. You probably work with some dickhead photographers out there who don't want to share the images. And in your eyes, in your heart, you're probably like, I can't share anything of this beautiful design that I came up with, this concept that I came up with. And I feel for you, and I am sorry about that. But most photographers, I will say 9 out of 10, will gladly share a gallery if you approach them. It's not that difficult. Get to know the photographer. I get to know every planner I work with. It is a symbiotic relationship on a wedding day. We work cohesively as a team, and it is a great relationship to have as a photographer to be in the pocket of a planner and vice versa. So why wouldn't a photographer share those images with a planner?
It's free marketing.
It is. It's free marketing. So photographers, stop being dickheads and share the work with other vendors.
Right. But the issue here is you don't own the photos. You don't own them. And the implication in your contracts or in certain contracts that say that they will own the images is false. You won't. And if you do disseminate photos and try to make a profit on them, you're setting yourself up for a legal problem.
Yeah. So that's a big no-no. And what we talk about is, using those for paid advertisement, marketing, things like that, like publication. So if a planner were to use an image taken by a photographer for, say, they are making a book on wedding timelines and use it as their front cover and don't credit the photographer and don't buy the commercial copyright for those photos, that is illegal.
I can sue you.
Yes. So.
And I will win.
So that is what we were talking about in the clip. That kind of went viral, and that every planner in the country hates us.
What the confusion is, what is a commercial license and what a personal license is. And you cannot ask your client to grant you ownership. They don't have the right. They have a personal license use to those images that we release unless they pay for a commercial license. Mm-hmm. Just like everybody else. You can't approach your client to give them access to the photos. You have to come to us. And like Mike said, most of the time, you'll get the photos.
Yeah.
You'll get them.
You'll get them. I will gladly give any planner images. Gladly.
But I guarantee you that the people that didn't give you the photos are probably the ones that have been burned before.
Yeah. I'm going to say that's probably the case. And, maybe if that's the case, maybe approach them delicately.
And ask them, hey, is there a reason you won't share the photos with me? Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
It's all about communication. And I think that's why it was important that we elaborate a little bit further on this, because not that we care if anybody hates us for our opinion, but it's important for you to understand what we're coming after here.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of basically twisted our words.
We're not saying you shouldn't share the images with the vendors at all.
No, you should.
We all do. What we are upset with is now people are adding clauses into their contract that have no legal standing in court to try and skirt around paying for a commercial license to use images for paid advertisements. Or, you know, whatever it is that there was a huge case with a photographer, and this is years and years and years ago. This is a very dramatic example, but this is something that can happen where a minor photographer who was under the age of 18 at the time had posted an image of herself on her art platform. The photo was taken by an adult film company and used as a cover for an adult film. It was mass produced and sold, and this girl, this minor, was now the face of an adult film.
Lovely.
They didn't ask for permission, clearly. They just took the photo. And this company lost, obviously, for many reasons.
Probably got sued to oblivion.
They got sued to a crisp, and clearly the photographer, the minor, won. That minor is not a minor anymore, and she's a very successful photographer. But, you know, and this is the same thing this is something similar that happened to me. I took a photo back, I was 19. I took a photo of myself, put it on my platform on Flickr. A boutique, clothing boutique, took the photo and started printing it on t-shirts. Somebody brought it to my attention. I sued. I won. So you have to stop doing things that are going to get you in trouble.
So we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Maru. Maru is a modern payment experience for the wedding and events industry. Lauren, have you been using Maru a lot lately?
I've been using Maru to pay my contractors.
That's a great
and
way.
Send invoices. It's really easy. It's great to pass off the processing fees. So it saves me a little bit of money, and it's also really easy and straightforward for everybody to pay. Whereas sometimes it can be a bit of a process to use other companies like Venmo or Zelle.
Oh, yeah. Like we hate those processing fees. So
annoying.
Maru does give you the ability to do that and pass off those fees. It's a community, over 9,000 wedding and event professionals, and they're growing every day. They offer seamless transactions and hassle-free payment experience, and they make it possible to focus on what you do best, creating a memorable experience. All right. So with Maru, we talked about it, but you can accept and make payments without processing fees, offer clients a simpler experience, no need to sign up, just pay and go, and keep all your payments neatly organized in one central hub. And like Lauren said, if you have contractors, second shooters that like work underneath you and you need a quick way to pay them and avoid those fees that like, you know, Venmo throws at you, things like that, well, Maru gives you the ability to pay contractors right from the platform. It makes things so easy. You could sign up for free at maru.us/TVT. Yeah. So it's all about copyright ownership and things like that. And, you know, we got a input from a lawyer. And once we did that, it's not like our opinion here or saying, oh, well, I don't think you should do that.
This is
my
a fact.
God. Okay.
In the United States. It's in United States copyright law.
Yes. We've gotten a lawyer's opinion who we will have on the show and actually explain copyright law and all that stuff so you guys could better understand that. But, you know, a lot of, like, I love them, but Georgie and Beth at the Unfiltered Bride podcast, who I love their podcast. They're great. They're basically two planners in the UK, and they're hysterical. I actually listen to their podcast. And they talked about us on their most recent episode. And one of their arguments was like, well, what are you taking photos of then? You know, like the design, like what are you taking photos of then? And I'm laughing because at the same point, like, yes, your beautiful design is set up gorgeously and planned, and I'm sure you put so much time and effort into. As a photographer, I could give a shit about the design.
You can take all of that away and the photos will still be beautiful.
I could give a shit about the design. I really could. Because at the end of the day, who hires you as a photographer?
The client.
The couple. And at the end of the day, they could get married in a parking lot, and I'll still try to make that look pretty. So the goal for a photographer is to take beautiful photos of the couple that hired them. Everything else is excess. So it doesn't matter what the design is. It doesn't matter how much time and effort you put into it. It doesn't matter how pretty the ceilings look and the drapery and the napkins and the tablecloth and all that stuff. At the end of the day, my goal as a photographer is to provide beautiful work to the client or the couple.
Regardless of decor.
Regardless of decor. Exactly. So that doesn't matter. And I know people are like, well, what are you taking photos of then? I own that. I own that design. You design that design. The photographer owns the photos of that design.
It's the only tangible work product that we create.
Yes. I know that sucks. I know that sucks, but that's how it is. And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but like the physical photo is ownership of the photographer. The image that is taken of that design is ownership of the photographer. The design itself, yes, is subject of the planner or the designer.
I'm baffled that I still have to have this conversation.
Yes.
I know that this is like, why are so many people coming after photographers for this right now? Because it is mind-blowing. I don't come after you for your flowers.
Well, I know why, because the photographers aren't sharing. They aren't sharing the work, and that's the issue that I think a lot of the other vendors are having with photographers is they're just not sharing the work. And I think if photographers got off their high horse a little bit and started like sharing the wealth a little bit, it would be fine. A lot of planners and a lot of floral designers and a lot of things like that are saying, well, I'll just hire my own photographer to come and photograph the details.
Fine. Just don't get in my way and don't photograph the bride and groom or couple.
That's it.
I don't care. I'm not bothered. And I don't think anyone, you have a little buggy friend on the table.
Oh, hi.
I'm not bothered if someone hires a photographer to photograph the work that they created prior to my couple and I doing our portraits and whatever I need the room for. So, and I don't think anybody else should either.
No, I have no problem with a planner or
for marketing materials.
Yeah, floral designer, anything like that, hiring their own photographer to photograph the details of what they designed. I have no problem with that. The issue I have would be is if they're photographing the couple in the space or if they were interfering with me. So my case is I've seen this before, but they were gone before I arrived. Right. So usually that's how it is. And usually if you're a planner or a floral designer, you should probably reach out to the photographer and say, hey, I'm hiring my own team to photograph this. This is like, my style and all that stuff. I would have absolutely no problem with that.
Not at all. It happened to me this past weekend. Which is fine.
Yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. So if you want to hire your own photographer for said event, you have absolutely the right to do that. The only thing is they can't interfere with the main photographer and they can't photograph the couple.
Right.
That's it. That's usually most photographers will be okay with that. Yeah. Like that it doesn't violate any terms of my contracts.
Bottom line, photographers, share your work with the vendors who helped create the magical day for this couple. Just make your licensing use clear, like what they can use them for. And planners, my God. We own the photos. That's just the end of.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We do. I just went to an amazing planner this weekend, and we all worked together. It was fantastic. But no, you don't own our photos, and you can fight. You can die on that hill if you want to, but it'll be very lonely.
Yes. Love you all. But please just understand where we're coming from, and where we're coming from is a place of legality. Like we are talking from the legal perspective here. So please don't try to skirt around the photographer to obtain copyright ownership of the photos by going to the client, which they don't own the rights to those photos. They own a personal license to the photos. They don't own commercial. So please understand the difference. If you want to get further educated, I recommend like the Laws Hog or the Legal Page. We will have a lawyer on the show, likely the Legal Page on the show, to explain copyright ownership and all things that kind of go into, the legal side of being a wedding vendor.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We went on a voyage on that one.
Wow.
Oh, God, now I'm stressed out. Now, what happens, Lauren, what happens if a client asks you for like a privacy clause, they don't want to be seen on social media or like your website or anything like that.
I don't question that at all.
No.
I just, that's fine.
You have to grant a privacy
You have to
clause.
grant or like basically send a privacy agreement. Like it's separate from the contract that they sign. You can add a clause if you know or understand the legal language to use to effectively draft it in your contract, or you consult a lawyer who will add it for you. But no, I never questioned. Their privacy is paramount to me.
Yeah. What do you think about photographers, for example, saying they'll charge a fee for a client that doesn't want their images shown on social media or
That's
the website?
their prerogative. If they want to do that, that's fine. I don't, and that's fine too.
I don't personally agree with that. I think a client's like privacy is their right. And as much as that might suck for you, I will say that I think charging them to have their images private just isn't a good look.
Maybe not be a good look, but again, that's their practice, that's their business, and if
It's my own opinion.
if they mention that before signing, then the client can make an informed decision on whether or not they want to book that person.
Yeah.
And that's it, really.
I've had 5 clients that are government officials, military, and stuff like that, that I took beautiful photos of their wedding that I can't share anywhere.
Is it devastating? Yeah.
It's horrible. It's so sad. But at the same point, I understand their privacy. Their job is, discretion and what they have to do. And, I absolutely added that to my contract as soon as they asked. I had no problem doing it. And
Government officials, celebrities, I mean, there's a multitude of reasons as to why people may not want to have their photos shared.
yeah,
I've had families when I do family sessions, they don't want their kids on the internet, which valid.
yeah.
So I just don't question it. If they don't want their photos shared, I won't share them.
Yeah, that's just how it is. I think, you have to respect it and you have to understand where the client comes from. And honestly, like, you shouldn't even question them if they say like, hey, I don't want my photos on social media, or
if it comes down to like, there are some people who are in our Facebook group who are saying like, we only shoot X amount of weddings a year, so not being able to post one severely hurts our marketing. And I just feel like that's bullshit. Because not posting one wedding is not going to destroy your business.
yeah, it's not.
You can easily post from another wedding, or,
You could also, I'll be honest with you. So I had he's retired now, but he was Navy SEAL. I shot a Navy SEAL wedding, and everyone in that room was a government official or like military. This was a long time ago, and I couldn't share some of the best images I've ever taken in my entire life. And I kid you not, like, they are portfolio worthy pieces. After a certain amount of time, I had a clause in the contract that after he retires, that I could release the images. But I approached them after I photographed their wedding and delivered the full gallery. I said, like, I know, you don't want photos on social media or website or anything like that. Would you be okay if I shared these 4 images that I truly love? And you couldn't see his face. They were like landscape style shots. And he had no problem with that. Absolutely no problem. So sometimes if you just approach the client and it might be a photo of maybe their back walking, something like that, where you can't see or recognize the faces, it might be okay. So like, you just maybe, you could talk to your client about it a little bit.
Now let me ask you a follow-up question.
Yeah.
If you find out one of your couples gets divorced, do you feel obligated to remove those photos from your social?
No, I don't personally. No.
What if they ask you?
If they ask me, yes, I will take them down. If they ask me, but I'm not going to seek them out and be like, do you want me to remove your photos? Personally, if they're really good photos, they're in my portfolio.
Yeah.
I have a few couples in there that are divorced that are still in the portfolio and stuff like that, probably still up on my social from years ago. But if they break up before I post them, I'm not going to post them. But I won't remove them unless asked.
Yeah.
So this was like kind of an open format episode of craziness. I want to ask you this question.
All right.
Before we sign off quickly. Okay. I was thinking about this, like, my like I get inspired by so many incredible photographers in this industry, but if I were to paint a Mount Rushmore of the top 4 photographers, all right, that
Specifically weddings.
So what is your Mount Rushmore, your top 4 photographers, let me rephrase this, okay? What is your Mount Rushmore of wedding photographers, the top 4 photographers that inspire you?
Well, Henry's diary.
Okay. He's on mine, but go ahead.
Yeah. I love Britt and Bean photography. She's in Florida. I love her. There's Wandering Woo. Do you follow?
No.
So
I don't follow those two, the last two you mentioned.
Wandering Woo. And I'm trying to think of, I think Gabe McClintock.
Okay.
I love him.
It's a good 4.
Yeah. What about you?
Henry is on there. Jordan Voth is on there for me.
Oh, fuck. How can I forget him?
He's incredible.
Damn.
I've been following him since like...
Add a fifth. A fifth head.
I've been following him since like, I don't know, 2010 or something, since the Flickr days. Love his work. A lot of, like, he's a big inspiration to me. India Earl, big time. Love her work. Love her cinematic style. I love her, like, just everything that she does is just incredible. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, who is, my 4th? And a lot of people won't know this, but he's a friend of mine. And like, they won't know him from social media, but Brian Marcus from Fred Marcus Photography, who is based in New York. He is probably the best wedding photographer you've never heard of, but he's photographed probably more celebrities than you'll ever count in your life. He photographed LeBron James's wedding. Big source of my inspiration. I got to know him a lot when I worked at Tiffin, and he is just absolutely just a rock star, like a rock star photographer. Like, designed a light called the GL1 that I used for years that was like an LED that like would spotlight a couple, and I based a lot of that style and like using LEDs based around that light today, and I still incorporate a lot of like what he taught me into that. And I never shot with him, but I got to know him from trade shows and events and things like that, and like all his tips and tricks are basically what I use and help develop my business for. And he's photographed countless weddings, and
why don't you marry him already?
I just he's a good dude. He actually wants to come on the show, so
oh, great.
like and he's dynamic. His personality is incredible, so like we're gonna have him on the show. He's all about like luxury wedding photography, so like if you want to be a luxury high end, like charging like $20,000 for a wedding, like he's the guy that we're gonna talk to about that.
Also, I want to mention our friend Heather, because we talk about her almost every episode. Because there is not anyone quite like...
She's incredible.
Heather.
Yeah, she makes me feel so inferior.
She's one of those people who can photograph at like the most basic venue and make it look like it was the most luxurious experience of all time. And you're just like, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, she's so good.
She's brilliant. I can't say enough amazing things about her.
Artistic. She's pure art.
Her work is poetic. I think even on her website it says like poetic, art inspired. It's just it's everything. It makes me cry.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We love her.
I wanted to talk a little bit about that because that was cool. I was just thinking about that for a second. So we'll wrap this one up. Lauren. Mm-hmm. Where can they find you when you're not shooting triples?
Oh my God, that feels so good. You can find me at LaurenO'BrienPhoto.com and Lauren O'Brien Photo and the Feral Photog on Instagram. Michael. Oh, I deleted TikTok. Fuck that. Where can they find you? At
Michael Casara Photo on Instagram, TikTok, as well as my website. And you could find us at the Vendor Table Pod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as well as
our Facebook group.
Guys, it's been fun. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, bye.